Hey guys, it's Brittany. So, today's gonna be a popcorn chat video, and today I'll be discussing with you on the movie Back to the Future 2. And Back to the Future 2 is just a good sequel to the first. And so, of course, the movie starts off with how the first one ended and how now they have to go back in time again. And Doc comes in, Emmett Brown, and he tells Marty, you have to come back with me, to the future. And so when he does this and tells him why they had to go back, Marty just says something that was just funny, and he even asked him, like, well, what are you talking about? What happens to me and Jennifer? Do we become assholes or something? But, I thought that was just funny that he said that. And then he tells him, no, it's not you. You and Jennifer turned out fine. It's your kids. And so yeah, when they go to the future, they go to the future, I'm trying to think of the date here. October 21st, 2000, 2015? Was it October 21st? Okay, I believe it is. That is October 21st, 2015? Yeah. And so what happens is that, so when they go to the future, that, of course, now this is the first time that they go into the future. Um, and so when they go there, he tells them how his son does something that gets him into a lot of trouble. He ends up in jail, but then when his sister tries to break him out, that when she tries to break her brother out of jail, she goes to jail for 20 years. And so it is just so interesting, like how this story is, and how he has to put on these clothes uh, as a disguise, um, um, to yeah, he puts on these clothes because that's the same clothes his son is wearing, and that so when he sees his son's picture in the newspaper, he sees that his son looks like him. And so he tells him that when he sees Griff, to tell him no. And so he does, but then let's just say things in a way get sorted out. But yeah, so it gets sorted out where now his son won't have to go to jail. Yeah, so yeah, Griff is Biff's grandson. So now I'm wondering, because I don't think we've seen this in the movie, that I'm thinking, okay, so was, who, okay, who was it that Biff, got involved with in a relationship, and who was it that, okay, did he ever got married to this unknown female character in the movie? Did he ever got married to her, or did he just not got serious in a relationship and he, got her pregnant and she, had his kids? And I'm just wondering, okay, if Biff had kids, then that meant, of course, at some point he had his grandson, Griff. So I'm not sure who Biff got involved with, whether if he was married to or not, whether if he had kids, because I think he must have had one child at some point. So, but of course, we don't know about that with Biff. We don't know of that. But yeah, that's something I'm kind of curious about now because none of that's mentioned. So that's interesting. And but yeah, I just really like this story where because yeah, with Marty, he gets the book, the almanac. So when he gets this, it's okay. Okay, it says here Marty purchases an almanac containing the results of major sporting events from 1950 to 2000. So, and yeah, so with this book, it just shows where from any sporting event that he could bet on a winner and he'll never lose. But with him buying this book, Doc, Emmett Brown, he did warn him about the seriousness of it and the consequences of it. And so, but when he throws it away, old Biff, old Biff gets a hold of it, and he goes back in time. Yeah, so he goes back in time to give his younger self the book and to let him know if you bet on a winner, you'll live, never lose. And so of course we don't see that happening because we're thinking, okay, what is he gonna do? And so when this happens, and when he arrived, now he arrived where something happened to him. I think there's a deleted scene where Lorraine had shot him and that he was dying, and I think as he was dying he disappeared. But I think that's a deleted scene, so I think with that deleted scene they didn't put in the movie because they felt it was just a bit dark for the movie. So I'm actually glad we didn't get to see that. But just when he had arrived and just when he was dying, that it wasn't too long after that where Marty and Doc got Jennifer because she had fainted after seeing her much older and future self. and she had fainted from seeing her much younger self. But that's just a funny scene too. And so when they go back in time in 1985, that is not the same as it was before. It's a whole different alternate 1985 because of Biff, what he did. And so now in this alternate universe of 1985, it shows where Biff, because he did what he did and he bet on the winners, so he never lost and he made a lot of money. But the thing is, he never did anything to help people or to even help, the planet, Earth, So he just caused a lot of problems. And the one thing he did, which was that I don't know how this happened, and I don't think they wanted to show this in detail, but when Lorraine was married to George, that I don't know how this happened exactly. I don't know if I don't know if there's even a description of it, but at some point, Biff murders George. He kills him. He kills him because he wants Lorraine, and so when this happens, he marries Lorraine. Now, I don't know how soon he married her. I don't know if it was maybe sometime after he had killed him. I don't know if it was maybe after the funeral or maybe after months had gone by or a year. I don't know. But when Biff did marry Lorraine, that Lorraine had changed, and she had surgery done, to she had breast surgery, but the reason why she did is because he wanted her. Well, he wanted them bigger, so that's why she did that. And even with the clothes she's wearing, I don't think that's something Lorraine would ever wear, to wear those kinds of clothes, but I think it's something he wanted her to wear. Like, and that's the thing, when it comes to a man like that, like demanding, like so controlling of what she should wear, and whether to have makeup on or not, or even less makeup, or, you know, I want you to do this, I want you to do that. And when it comes to that, it's toxic. So when it comes to a man like that, it's like, no, do not tell him what to do. And, especially not to give in, and not to let him change you for anything, physically, or the clothes you wear, or the how you put on your makeup, or maybe the kind of jewelry you wear, or, like when it comes to anything at all, like, no. So Biff, I can tell he was like that, just very demanding, very controlling, because he wants to be in control of everything, including Lorraine, because he wanted her, breasts to be bigger. So that's why she got the surgery. And he wanted her to wear those clothes that don't even suit her. And, like, yeah, when it comes to men who are like that, it really bothers me. It's very upsetting. But then again, there are some women who are like that towards men, and it's also very toxic, and it's just also, again, very upsetting. Like, I hate that. But anyway, so yeah, in this case, yeah, we can see how much we can see, just how do I put it? Like, how shitty Biff is. Just how much of a, and excuse me for saying this, but how much of a dick he is. Like, complete. Like, a huge anus. That's the best way to describe Biff, and even for those who are like him, or even worse. Just my opinion. And so of course Marty, he is shocked, and he doesn't even know what to think of what's going on. And so at some point, when Biff threatens Lorraine that if she walks out on him, that not only he will cut off her, I think giving her money, but he will cut off of her kids, that he'll, and so he had threatened her by bringing in, by telling her that he's gonna cut off her kids as well, of her son, David, and her daughter, Linda and Marty. So, but it's until then, when he threatens her of to cut off her kids, that, of her children, that's when she decides to stay. And so when Marty asks his mother, like, where is his father, and she tells him that he's been where he has been for the past 12 years, and that's the Oak Park Cemetery, and his eyes get wide, like he just can't believe what he heard. So he sees his father's tombstone. And I gotta say, that's a really sad part. I would say out of all the Back to the Future movies, um, that part is sad itself because he sees his father's tombstone and he sees that what his mother told him is true. He's dead. But what he doesn't know is that, so when Doc finds him, he tells him what happened and that he was killed. So of course, of course it was revealed that it was Biff. And of course I had no doubt about it because I remember first time watching this, I thought, okay, then who could have killed him? Because I thought, okay, maybe it could have been someone who was just walking by and all of a sudden just killed him. But then I thought it could have been Biff, and it was. So yeah, because yeah, so as they're discussing of what they need to do, um, to go back and change it to the 1985 of their reality. So hearing that is quite interesting, but yeah, the I just gotta say this: the story to Back to the Future 2 is just quite interesting, and it just shows it just shows what can go wrong, and it just shows if this happens, then the year like then this is gonna be different because it won't be same like how it was before, and it's gonna be different, especially if it's bad like what Biff did. So yeah, and like I said, I just really like the story to Back to the Future, and I love the costume designs, and I just love everything about it. I love, yeah, I love how they had to go back uh, to the past, because yeah, they didn't have to go back to the future to stop him, the old book, but they had to go back to 1955 to stop him, and so that's what they had to do. And of course, that is just fun to watch, where they had to go back again, and how this time they were able to fix it. But what's funny is that Marty is there to get his parents back together, but now he's there again, but to do something different, to find Biff, to get the almanac, and because um, because their future is at stake. Um, so they had to do that. So it's just quite interesting to see that, like, okay, two Martys doing two different things here. One, to bring his parents back together so they can come together, so he and his brother and sister can exist, and that they'll be able to be born. But the other Marty is trying to find Biff, to find the almanac, because their future is at stake and they had to get it and to burn it. So that way everything, because of the corruption that happened in the other reality of 1985, that reality will cease to exist, and then everything will go back to normal of how it was of their reality in 1985. And so this just takes on a different take of it, and I just find it quite interesting. And of course, I do love time travel movies, and so this is just great. But then I see at the end that when everything had went back to normal, that Doc, because as we can see at some point when when the time circuits were acting up and when he was hitting it, trying to fix it, I remember seeing a date on there, and the date was January 1st, 1885. So that meant when lightning struck the DeLorean, he actually went there on January 1st of the new year of 1885. So he had been living in the past. So when that happened, that meant he was living in the past for some time. But then, at some point, then one of Biff's, I'm trying to think, is it great or great great? It could have been his great great or, yeah, or great 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 um, grandfather, um, um, Buford, that yeah, then he shot Doc in the past, but now he has to go back in time, to go much further into the past to save Doc, to save him from getting shot, um, from Buford. And so that's part three. So yeah, he reads a letter that he sent to him from that time. So it's like, okay, now it's back. It's time now to travel to the Old West. So, and as they know too, like I love Western movies. So, both with time travel and Western is just really great. So yeah, I also enjoy part three as well. So part three will be, discussion on part three will be another time. Yeah, this is part two. But yeah, um, so yes, like I said, I do like everything about Back to the Future Part 2. I really enjoy everything about it. I like the story, and like how when they're traveling and how to do this and they need to do that. So in order to do this and to set things right, they have to do this, and this is how they're gonna do it. So I love that, of that concept there, and I just love the cast. They're great, and their performances, and I love how the designs, yeah, the costume designs, and even how things looked at the time of 2015, even though it didn't really look like that here, but that's okay. um I'm okay with that actually, but it was cool to see that in part two, and just seeing how they had to go back to 1955 just to get things back into order, back, and put everything into place as it should be, and how it will be, and how everything will be alright for their reality in 1985. So I just love that. So yes, I enjoy this, and this is just a really good, um, time travel movie of Back to the Future too. So yes, I really do enjoy this, and so I hope you guys enjoyed this movie discussion on Back to the Future too. And so yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this. So for more movie content, reactions, streams, and paranormal, subscribe and click on the bell so you'll be notified when I upload. That's all for today, and I'll see you at the movies.